G'day, comrade subscribers. Hope you're well. Yeah, I haven't had the Oril out for a while, the Eagle BK. So I thought I'd get it out. I've actually got 3 of these. I've only got 1 working, so I need to work on the other 2. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen the Oril before, so this is a Ukrainian or Soviet Ukrainian Spectrum clone. I think it was also produced after independence as well. It's I quite like the keyboard. As you can see here, we've got both Latin and Cyrillic, and we've also got the we've got the Cyrillic for tab as well. So we've got tab, UPR for control, reg for shift, alt for alt, Rus for the Latin for the Latin Cyrillic switch, graph, norm for true, inverse, redactor for edit, and bish, although no, that's vish, isn't it? Vish for backspace. I could go on and on, can't I? As I say, I quite like. It's a nice keyboard. It's not fully compatible with the Spectrum. There are some quirks with it apparently. It does have an expansion port right there that we're going to get to in a minute. Interestingly, it's 24 volts, so that's interesting. And we've got what's this, color TV, VTC, so I think that's color TV. So that's the RGB out there. We've got tape out and tape in, and 2 joystick ports. So this particular one, 1991, which I think, depending on the month, was kind of just. So I think this still might be Soviet. I can't remember off the top of my head. No doubt someone's going to correct me. So I can't remember off the top of my head. I apologise. It's a very good, very interesting machine. I quite like it actually. The reason why I got it out is that I got this a while ago, and it's about time I did something with it. So this is actually a disk interface for the Oril BK, and we've got a floppy controller here. It's actually a Soviet one, KR1818 VG93. So this is a clone, shall we say, or a Soviet version of the Western Digital, I've written it down here, FD1793 floppy controller. And we've got a ROM here, and then we've got some other bits and pieces. I couldn't find any information. I do have the documentation for it, but I couldn't find any information online about it. So, yeah, I do have the instructions, so it shouldn't be a problem. But basically it just slots into, no, actually it's the other way around, isn't it? Looking at the, notice this is an SMP58 connector. So this isn't actually a DIN. It looks like a DIN connector, I know, but it's not, because it's 2.5mm, not 2.54. So you'll be sadly disappointed if you try and fit a DIN connector on here. It actually goes in like that, like so, which is a bit annoying. It would be better to have the floppy interface going out the back, but whatever. So what I got with it, so we've got a layout of the board. So as you can see here, we've got an EEPROM, we've got the floppy controller, then we've got some logic around. I've got the schematic. So I think this always had disk support. It had disk support in the ROM from when it was designed, sort of thing. So it's not something that's been added on later, I don't think. I could be wrong. So this is the original instructions here. I have translated them here, so I'll put it on my Discord. But yeah, basically what you want to do, you got to remove, so there's 2 ROM chips in here, so you need to remove the ROM chips, which is probably why you have a ROM on the controller board itself. So you want to remove the ROM chips, and then we've got to make a cut down here, and then we've got to connect. So we make a cut there, and then we connect from this chip. I'm not sure what it is, a KR556RT4A. Anyway, that connects up to the connector, and then we also need to get 12 volts across to the connector. And the 12 volts apparently is for the disk controller. So the disk controller needs 12 volts. So there we go. And then it does say at the end basically that the machine will no longer work if the disk controller isn't plugged in. So you need to make sure you do that. Mainly because you've removed the ROMs, I would say. Right, and then this is just here about the cabling. So we've got Plata, so there's the board. Actually, this is the only English on here. Discard B, Discard A, floppy A and floppy B. So if you want to have two floppy disks, you need to have a twist. So it says here, not the same as on the PC. So you need to twist. Looks like 11 stays the same, so you've got to switch 10 and 12 around. Well, 11's ground, so it doesn't matter. So straight through for floppy B, and then swap 10 and 12 around for floppy A, as shown there. So like I said, I couldn't find. I wanted to get an electronic copy of this, but I couldn't find. I could see discussion of it on some Russian forums. God, they're snarky. There's reading some, well, certainly the English translation of some of the comments on these forum boards. God, they're snarky. Bloody hell. Anyway, what was I going to say? So yeah, I've seen them for sale. I've seen this the plain boards for sale in Ukraine and Russia. But I haven't actually seen like an electronic like Gerber's or anything like that. Gerber's. I'll have a big discussion about the pronunciation. Apologies for that as well. So yeah, there we go. So that's the plan, to try and get this working. I don't know why, because I don't have any software on disk. Of course, the thing would be to hook up a Gotek. So that, yeah, let's see. But I do have floppy disks. But you know, obviously, if I've got a Gotek, I could get a Spectrum disk image. So yeah, we'll see. Just as a quick recap, so this is the block Pitanya, the power supply, BP1. So you see, I've already converted it to Aussie. So 220 volts in and plus 24 volts out. So it does rectify it, and seems to work. Seems to work okay. I've got two of these. I've got two power supplies. The other one I haven't converted yet. And then looking inside, let me grab one of the ones I've got open. So, yep, so this is, I don't know what's wrong with this one. I'll have to try it out. As you see, I'm not a fan of the soldered in boards, but there's the keyboard, which is connected by a ribbon to the main board here. And then we've got, this is the internal power supply. So I'd say, well, it's giving 12 volts. I'd say it's also maybe doing 5, well, obviously it's doing 5 volts as well, but it's also giving 12 volts for whatever reason. Yeah, might say on here, although I've got all the schematics. So fuse. So here's the board itself. This one actually has got a Western Z80 in it. So the other ones have got East German. I think it looks like a Western. Probably because it's this is a new one. That's the one I've put in 2021. Yeah, oh nice. EPROMs, I guess. Have a look. So these are the ROMs. So obviously for the disk upgrade, we're going to remove those. And then it was DS1. I'll have to have a look. I'm not sure which chip it is. Somewhere. I've got to pull the other one apart anyway. Ah! This one's already had it done. This one's already had the modification done. That's very interesting. And the track should be cut there. Ah. Okay, but it's got the ROMs in. Did I put the ROMs in the right way around? There's DS3, DS2. Oh, anyway, I'm not going to... I'll figure it out later. Give you guys a... Yeah, oh, here we go. I love that. Resistor array. How cool is that? Love it. Oh, and I think these are the expensive little capacitors that get chopped off by those gold hunting people. Anyway, so yes, that's interesting. So this one's already had it done. Interesting. Here's the third one. So you can see it's a bit more worn, but still a nice keyboard. So get that out of the way. Different colour PCB. See the ROMs are missing, probably because I took them out, put in the other one. Why are the ROMs missing? Well, probably because it had a disk interface. Power supply, again, got the power supply. Actually, I wonder if there's a regulator there. Anyway, power supply again. Oh, we've got a proper resistor array. So it's just interesting looking at the different... Let's have a look at the... Oh, that one's... Okay. Something's been removed there. But look, we've got a proper resistor array here. And like the other one, we've got a clear crystal. That's pretty cool. Actually, I noticed you can't get 14 megahertz crystals anymore from like the normal suppliers. You have to get them from AliExpress or maybe that. Oh, that's probably not good. Got to straighten that out. But let's see. Okay, no, this one hasn't had the modification done. No 12 volts going across to the connector. So yeah. Anyway, we'll open up the one that's... Well, we'll power it on first tomorrow. Open her up and make the modification. Oh, you can see here actually we've got an East German Z80. Oh, I think it's the East German one. I'm not going to get into a discussion about there was no such thing as East Germany. There was East Germany. I'm watching on Netflix, I'm watching season 2 of Cleo, which is set just around reunification of East and West Germany. And they're talking about things like Ostmarks, East German marks. So anyway, let's continue this tomorrow. G'day, comrade subscribers. So let's continue. So I had a look at the last video I did for this a while ago, and it looks like I just had time to get this working, well, to make sure it's working, before I had to travel for work. So I haven't actually done much with it. And I think probably one of the reasons why is that it's got 2 separate tape ports, 2 separate magnetophone ports. So with tape, all you need is basically ground, which is usually pin 2 down the bottom, and then input and output, so three pins. So normally that's so a DIN 5 is enough, but we've got a separate DIN 5 for each. So that's tape 2. Anyway, whatever. So yeah. Anyway, but I do have the RGB cable that I made up last time. So let's see what happens. And it looks like, because it's a 7-pin video output, that it's actually got audio output as well, I guess. So let's connect it all up and make sure. Actually, I wonder if that's the same as a 2. So that's what they use. I wonder if that's the same as a 2.1 mil. I'll. They're not here. They're somewhere else. We'll try it later. I just wanted to hook it up to the lab bench supply, just to see how much current it draws. Right, got the old GBS 8200. Plug that in there. Then we've got VGA out to the VGA to HDMI, and then we've got the HDMI to USB, so that we can capture it on the computer. Alright, so I have powered it on, and sukya. No video output. And I definitely checked the video from part 3 and it did power on. So I'm a bit frustrated now. So I haven't touched it for a year and it's now not working. I don't know why. I can't hear any of the key press noises. Just no video output at all, which is frustrating because I just wanted to get on and okay, a little volume control, get on and was it this one? I just noticed there's some security snot there. Alright, let's open her up, have a look. Undoing the screw. So what gave me pause is that the security snot's still in there, and I realised, well, I haven't actually pulled this one apart yet because it worked. So yeah, I thought I might. So I've checked this power supply. It's outputting 30 volts. 24 nominal, but 30 volts. So, you know, of course it's unregulated. So hopefully that comes down to around 24 volts. But let's, I just thought I'd try this second power supply that I've got. Plug her in, and it's center negative. Let's just get this. Get the cables. Sorry, dead air, dead air. Okay, so center negative. What's this one outputting? Yeah, 30 volts. Oh, 26. Well, that's a bit better, 26 volts. I might just try powering it on with this other power supply. And if that doesn't fix it, well, I need to pull it apart anyway to do the disk interface, but we'll just try it with that other power supply there. Turn her off, just to see if that makes a difference, because the that is a bit, well, sorry, that is a bit cleaner than the other one. Where's the other one I was using? So I don't think it makes any difference, but so that was the original one I was using. Plug her in, plug in the video. There we go. All right, just give it a quick test. Power on. No difference, no video output. All right, let's continue opening. Like I said, I've got those ones. That one's ready to go. So we've just got the security snot ones there. So just dig her out. Don't know if that's as satisfying as peeling off a void sticker, void if removed sticker. There's that one done, and then we've just got one on the other side here. Sorry, I know it's a bit like earwax, isn't it? Ugh. I think that's it. Yeah, keyboard certainly wants to come off. No, a little bit more. There we go. Getting there. Sorry, did it. Okay, keyboard is off. Alright, and is this clipped on? I think it might be clipped on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so keyboard goes through there. And then we've got the power supply there. So obviously we want to check the power supply. Although we were getting, it's the quite simple, well, we were getting the red LED for power on, so I'm assuming there must be at least 5 volts working. So, oh, I love it. Love it. Oh, so I'm just going to move that over there. Oh yeah, it's a power supply. Quite a long cable for the power supply. It's actually tied down there. I can lift that up. So, we've got the ROM there. We've got East German Z80. We've got a nice little resistor array there, nice little crystal there. Alright, so it looks all quite nice and clean actually. Yeah, I know what you're thinking is like, yeah, I'm going to start troubleshooting this one and then I'm going to leave it when it gets too hard like the other ones. But I am going to come back to the other ones, trust me. So have a closer look. Like all the others, we've got our nice little ROMs there, pre-programmed. Got our East German Z80. And we've got our nice little resistor array there. See, we've got little, because of the way the capacitors are and we don't have any protection on the tracks. So we've got that sort of so we've got like a proper resistor array there. And then we've got the hand soldered one there. I like the hand soldered ones. Yeah, so nothing else. Everything looks fine. Got our nice little clear crystal. Yeah, so I say this was working. You can check the part 3 video. Now we're not getting anything, which is frustrating. What do you reckon? Just swap the CPU out. Well, let's give that a try. All right, so I've got the East German CPU back in. Didn't make any difference putting in a Zilog. So I've checked the clock, pin 6 on the Z80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is a clock, about 3.5 megahertz. So I've checked Holtz, so Holtz active low, so that's high. If I have a look, so that's clock, pin 6, pin 7, which is D4. Well, this is what we're seeing on the other ones as well. So that's that's D7 on the Z80. That doesn't look right, does it? Yeah. That looks like a bit of a mess if you ask me. But yeah, okay, like Mr. Volkman said, sticking a logic analyzer on it, but still, I wouldn't have thought it should look like that on the data line, should it? Just either on or off. So if I had a look, so I was looking at other random random pins on random chips. And some of them look really nice. Oh, it's not too bad. But I was having a look on some, I was like, wow, look at that square wave. Beautiful. But yeah, so data chip, ROM. Yeah, so it looks like it's back to troubleshooting. Pin 40, A10. What's A10? A9, A8, A7. So there is activity. There's just no video output at the moment. Was pin 1, A11. That's A12. Nothing on there really, is there? A13. So is it a problem that there's no activity on A12? Pin 2. Come on. Okay. 1 volt per division. Two volts per division. So, I don't know, it looks like A12 is just high, doesn't it? Go back, that's A11, A12, A13, A14. Interesting, alright, I wonder if A12 is an issue. I actually do have a proper schematic. Where is it though? I do have a proper schematic for it because I scanned it in. Alright, let's have a look for it. Right, g'day again, comrade subscribers. I'm not making any progress. I'm rather annoyed, to be honest, because this thing was working. I wanted to try and get this disk interface up and running. But anyway, that's what we do, isn't it? So, I've got A12 address line working now. So if we have a quick look, I don't really follow what's going on. So A12 has got activity on it now. And I did that basically by putting the ROMs in whilst it was powered on. Because before that, it was just high the whole time. Took one ROM out and you'd see activity from the Z80. So I thought, well, sod it. I'll put both ROMs in, and now it seems to be activity. So I think, well, I don't know. I'm just going to go through all the pins on the Z80 and start from there again. So we're going to start with pin 1. So that's pin 1. So there is activity there. What's the best way to... No, that's going in. Maybe, okay, you can see that that's active. Okay, so I'll start with pin 1, which is A11. Pin 2, which is A12. All right, so that's activity there now. There wasn't before. Pin 3, which is A13. Pin 4, which is A14. Lots of activity. Pin 5, which is A15. Okay, pin 6, which is the clock, so it should be about 3.5 megahertz. Where's the trigger? Trigger menu. Let's move the trigger down. There we go, 3.5 megahertz. Okay, so that's the clock. Pin 7, D4. This is where we get these ugly waveforms. All right, we've seen those before, haven't we? Okay, well, there is activity anyway. D4, pin 7, pin 8, which is D3. Ugh. Pin 8, D3, pin 9, D5. Ugh. And then pin 9, D5, pin 9, yep. Pin 10, D6. Okay. And pin 11, which is 5 volts in. Okay. And then pin 12, which is D2. Okay, D2. Pin 13, which is D7. Okay, that probably looks the best out of all of them. Not exactly a square wave, but yeah. All right. Pin 14, which is D0. Oops. And we get that weird crap again. Pin 15, which is D1. Okay, now we go on to the active low signal. So 16, active low interrupt. Pin 17, active low NMI. Pin 18, active low halt. Memory request. Active low, pin 19. See, that looks all right, doesn't it? Okay, pin 20, interrupt request. Active low. No activity. All right. Around the other side. Let me just move this over here so I'm not looking over my shoulder. Okay, pin 21. Read, active low. Pin 22, right, active low. That looks pretty regular, doesn't it? Okay, bus acknowledgement, active low, 23. Wait, active low, pin 24. Bus request, active low, pin 25. Reset, pin 26, active low. M1, which is what, first instruction of a active low. So that's what, first instruction of a first machine cycle of an instruction or something. So that's active low. So there's activity there. Refresh, pin 28, active low. Then ground, pin 29. Pin 30, A0. Pin 31, A1. Pin 32, A2. Pin 33, A3. Pin 34, A4. Pin 35, A5. Pin 36, A6. Pin 37, A7. Pin 38, A8. Pin 39, A9, and pin 40. So everything seems to be running well. So yeah, pin 40 is A10. Everything. So the Z80 seems to be running okay now. Still not getting any video output, nothing at all. Not even glitchy graphics. So that's A12. A12 is running fine there. Coming back to these proms, so this is A12 on the prom. It's interesting. What? So this is A12. Huh? Okay. Have I just chosen a moment where it's decided to stop working? Well, it's A11, pin 2, A12. So that's A12. Now it's gone back again. A12. So A11, A12, A13. Oh, okay. A13's not doing anything. A14. Okay. Frig, man. So what's on this? So what's on the address bus then? I'm lost. Something gets in a minute. Is it a capacitor? Maybe it's a capacitor that's... Maybe it's a capacitor. That's A12 again. So this is where I'm getting lost again. So I made a note of what's on the address bus. Have a look down here. Right, so looking at A12 in particular, DD19, pin 10. Then there's these XF41, XF51, which seems to be a buffer, according to the schematic. Oh no, so we've got the ROMs, DS2 and DS, so we've got the two ROMs. And then we've got this, the address bus, we've got this XS51. And I think this other one is XF52. So I don't know if it's an inverter or if it's just an inverting buffer or if it's in a buffer. So we've got the addresses coming in and then the address is going on to the ROM. I don't know what an XS... Let me have a look at the board again. I think I'm lost. So there is like space for two more like ROM sockets here. So it does look like that kind of says XS7. And then, I don't know what that says. So I wonder if maybe that's what this is. Perhaps just a blank at the moment. So I don't understand what's going on. This is the RAM here. This is the DRAM, 64 kilobits or kilobytes. Notice how they've got the decoupling capacitors very, very, very close. So I don't... Maybe I should just pull these up a little bit. It'll magically start working. Yeah, so I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss at the moment. It's been a while since I've done Spectrum Z80 troubleshooting, so I've forgotten everything. Forgotten all what you guys told me. So Z80's running, although it was running, now it's not. But I don't know. All right, I'll leave it here for now. Need to have a think about it. Let me know what you think.